All right, hi. Oh, how did I not notice that before? Maybe because the whole background was black. That's why I didn't notice.
Maybe. Lol.
But hi, gamers.
Hi.
Okay, we'll do a quick swap. If you remove your color from your background, are you able to swap it to a color I can?
Yeah.
Then I will do that.
I'll switch it to...
All right, chat. Yeah, you know, when we gotta do things live, there's always a little bit of scuff, but that's what gives us charm, right? All right, let me just go into these filters real quick and grab the let's go with this one. Let's select a color. Perfect. All right, let's turn that on. All right, looks good, I think, right?
Yay!
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, hi.
Hi,
chat.
Hi.
Welcome on in. How's it going? If you're just joining us, I'm Marina. I'm Variety VTuber. We're running a big charity stream right now, and I'm joined by some wonderful people. I'm joined by Veronica J, Coconuts, and Tricky's gonna be here momentarily. She just had to step away. She's gonna be here in just a second. Yeah, and then we're gonna be answering your questions. Yeah, if it's your first time here, for my my sex ed stream, I do this every week. Normally, it's normally on Friday nights, but I think things are gonna be shifting around. I'm still figuring out what's gonna happen. But yeah, I do this every single week. I have a couple guests on, and we answer your questions. So you can ask us anything you want to about sex ed, any kind of relationship advice, or anything it might be. So we get to hear. You know, a lot of different people's thoughts. So it's real fun to come back every week and hear what people think about stuff.
This is my second time being on the sex talk thingy, too.
It is.
That's exciting.
It is.
This is my first.
Most of the questions just boil down to, like, just talk.
Oh, no. Yeah, communication is, like, literally the most important thing. And I feel like so many people forget.
Yeah, we get a lot of that, but it looks like we've already gotten a whole bunch of questions.
Ooh.
So thank you all for popping in your questions. And if you haven't had a chance to ask your question and you would like to ask your question, ! Question right here. That's going to give you that link, that ask.ping.gg/ask/Marina. And you get to ask us anything you want to. Yeah. Yeah, the first thing I like to do is sort of give everyone an introduction and ask the question of, like, do you think you're qualified to give relationship advice and stuff like that? There's no right answer, no wrong answer.
I am.
The confidence.
I am the relationship and sex master.
Yes.
I have fucked
agreed,
everything.
I'm all right at it, I think. I give a lot of advice, you know. I tend to follow my own advice too at times, which is something that's very uncommon for most people who give advice. So I think that's pretty good.
That is true. When it comes to following advice, a lot of the time you do have people that it's hard to follow your own advice, right? Especially with the relationship stuff.
Oh yeah.
You can see things happening when it's not you, but then all of a sudden when you're in that situation, it's just it's like, what's going on? You know? Yeah.
You gotta take a step back sometimes, you know? Be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, Squid Punk, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome on in. Yeah, so my background in sex education comes from the fact that I used to be a teacher. And I have taught sex education, so I have a background in training and that kind of stuff. I've been in a number of relationships, mostly unhealthy relationships, but hey, that means I learn a lot, right?
You learn from your losses,
and lucky enough to
be
and lucky enough to be in a very, very wonderful one right now.
Yay.
So
I tried to clap, but I was things in my hand. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah. All right. So we'll just be answering some questions. I guess we'll just kind of pop into it and then add Tricky when
I love you, Marina.
when we get back
when she gets here. Yeah. Thanks for the love, fan. Mwah. Yeah, I saw you wave at me from the bed when I said that. Yeah. All right. So you all excited? You do you give a lot of advice? Do people come to you for advice in like your friend group?
In the friend group?
Either of you?
Not really relationship advice, more, streaming stuff, but
yeah, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of relationship stuff and sex ed stuff on my stream a bunch, so I'm pretty used to talking about it. I would say well versed. But for friends, most friends are complaining about relationships, and I'm just like trying to give them the advice that they might or should follow, and you just watch them run down that path and hit every every rock, every bump. Like, oh
yeah. I am just adjusting some filters because I think I realized we got some black lines on Coco. Is that better? Do we get it?
It's right next to
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Do we get it? Do we get it? Okay, I think that's
sorry.
better. Yeah. You're a little cut off. That's the best we're gonna do.
It's
That's the
okay.
best we're gonna do. All right. Well, let me see. Oh, actually, yeah. Okay. Remember chat obviously. Oh yeah, so that's another thing that's important to cover is the question form is completely anonymous, so you don't have to worry about us knowing who's asking the question or whatever. That being said, if you would like to say that was my question, thanks for answering my question or whatever, or give more context, because sometimes it's important for us or helpful for us to get more context, you can speak up, but there's no pressure. You can choose to be anonymous if you want to. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I think we got the command out there. So we'll go ahead and get a question going. And start from there. Let me see.
Heck yeah.
All right, first question. Hopefully all this works normal.
Hopefully.
All right, we have someone in chat who asks, any recs on discovering new kinks or learning to embrace what makes me happy?
I mean, give it a try as long as you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, really. Is this like in a relationship, or are you just looking for like your own solo fun, right?
But also make sure that you are practicing new things safely. Do your research, because if you're trying to put something in a hole and it's too big, you gotta go slow. Take your time.
Gotta ease things in. Yeah.
But learning what makes you happy,
that's very true.
Man, that's just like a life question. Like I don't
you could go a long ways with that one. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a really open-ended question, right? When you're looking for recs on discovering new kinks, I mean, recs, I guess you don't really ask like for recommendations. It's a very personal thing. I think that exploration, there is so much on the internet, right? So it's just kind of that exploration of see what gives you the good tingles and what doesn't do it for you, kind of thing, right? And it's, you experiment here and there, see what you're liking, what you're not liking, kind of go from there. But generally, no one else is going to be able to tell you what a situation is. I do find that sometimes kinks kind of evolve naturally from situations, right? I know I've heard many times people discover a kink like in a relationship, because maybe someone else, like their partner likes something.
Oh yeah.
And they kind of get drawn to be like, oh, sure. I mean, I want to make my partner happy. So like they're willing to try something out or whatever it might be.
Sharing kinks is always very enjoyable and healthy for a relationship, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's kind of one way. If you're in a relationship, definitely just talking to your partner, seeing what your partner's kind of into and yeah, just, you know, not being afraid to explore and also knowing that not everyone is like quote unquote super kinky, right? Like it's okay and it's valid. It's okay and valid for you to just be into, you know, more vanilla stuff. That's fine, right? So that's definitely something to consider.
If you're looking to get freaky, like you said, lots of stuff on the internet.
Oh yeah, lots to learn.
Yeah.
Just be safe. That's really it.
Oh hi.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hi. Okay, let me sneak you in here. What's the color of your background?
Green.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. And you're probably gonna go between me and Veronica here.
Oh my goodness, beside me? Ooh woo.
I love you, Marina.
All right, that's looking good. I need to take a look at
Oh,
filters.
you're gonna start barking.
No! I've never barked in my life. That's why.
Oh, you're about to.
Never, ever. Yes, I remember sometimes, but.
All right,
when I get excited.
Let's get you. Can you see yourself on the shared screen? Let's get you a little
let
smaller, and then I will move myself over, and I will move Coco over, and Veronica can move over a little bit. There we go.
Behind me. Careful. What are you reaching for?
Is Tricky nibbling again?
I think a little bit.
Is that what's happening?
A little something back there, all right? There is a lot to nibble on. I won't lie.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna pause for 1 second because I've been hearing the little I've been hearing the beepies and the chimes going off, so I'm like, oh, I gotta check on these donos. But we got Evan Skyheart, $50. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Tang the Orang, $50.
Yeah.
VTuber Talk, $20. And Fruit coming in here with $1,000. Thank you.
Oh, God damn.
Let's go.
Thank you.
I'm so
Oh my
happy.
Gosh.
Let's go.
You did a freaking flip.
What?
That's impressive.
Yeah, it has been a wild day. I set my goal for 1,000 and I was going to be happy if we hit that, and the fact that we've passed 10,000. We passed 11,000 now. We're almost at the 1,250 goal. Yeah. It's been a really good day. Yeah. You flopping all around? Are you trying to decide where you what?
Both.
I hope I'm not too stinky for you.
Both is good.
Am I okay? Am I okay? Is that
Ooh, yes. It smells.
All right.
You heard it here, chat. You heard it here. I got Tricky's approval. We love that.
We do like that here.
Oh yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you're joining us. You're joining us here for our first question. Chad is asking, any recommendations on discovering new kinks or learning to embrace what makes you happy? Do you have any input on that?
Honestly, I've discovered the most kinks from just exploring myself with like videos, and I used to be a smut writer.
Yo, nice.
Hey, yo.
So love to hear it.
I think I definitely look at the most writing like stuff. Like I read like a whole bunch of fan fictions, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I enjoy
I like the sound of that one.
Yeah. So I honestly think that the best way to discover new things is honestly to just step out of your comfort zone, except for the things that you know for a fact that will make you uncomfortable, because you never want to put yourself in a situation that would make you uncomfortable. So, and then
Right.
of course, like whoever your partner may be, make sure that they understand that it's like, hey, this is something new. And if they better have, you know, the boundaries and the respect for you to, you know, explore that together, or you can also explore by yourself, because that's what I do.
Hey, when you're alone, all right?
Yeah, and
Someone's gonna love you.
you know, that's
Yes.
it's very healthy. It's very good. Yeah. I wanna pause real quick because Vaxoria the Sun Eater popped by and just dropped $500. Thank you.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Vax.
Thank you.
We love you. We love you. Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Vax. Thank you.
I nom on you.
Yeah, very wise, Tricky. You know, you popped in after these two and after I asked the question. I like to ask everyone at the beginning to give kind of their input on, do you think you're qualified to give relationship advice and stuff like that?
While I've been in very few relationships, I have experience, and I know what's toxic and what's not. Cause I've been through toxic shit. So like I know how to tell people what to avoid.
Yo,
Basically, like
real.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was gonna say, even from, you know, the your eloquence with the first question, I was like, all right, we're gonna get some good stuff tonight.
I'm old.
Yeah, also smut writer. Ayo. Okay.
I miss those
We love
days.
that. And when you're doing stuff like that, I feel like you have to have a kinky vocabulary, right? Like
Well, that's the thing.
you need to know about things.
Yeah, well, weirdly, I felt like I didn't have enough experience from that. Like, it's literally from research. 'Cause I'm like, oh, that's kind of sexy. What can I do to learn more about this sexy thing?
I love that. For
Yeah,
you.
are we talking like video research? Or are we talking like you went on a you know,
Yes.
hands-on research?
Well,
okay.
mostly video and other smut, because I'm demisexual. So like
Oh, okay.
so I haven't
Okay.
I don't really, and no disrespect to anybody who goes out and like explores hands-on. I just simply can't do it myself. So like I have to do a lot of research on my own. Cuz originally I did not know I was demi. I was like, why am I not horny?
Right.
Right.
And that's a real that's a real situation that people get into, you know, when they're figuring out their sexuality, right? You know, when there are so many people that like hit puberty and they're like super sex crazed and whatever it might be, and then some other people are like, am I supposed to feel that way? And you know, people that find out they're ace, or people that find out they're demi, you know, or anywhere on the spectrum, people just, sometimes it's easier for some people, sometimes it's harder for some people to figure that out. So
yeah, because I went through two relationships where I was very confused. I've only been in 2 official relationships, and I was just very confused the entirety of them. They were long-term relationships, and I'm just like, I used to be so horny before.
Oh yeah.
Why am I not horny with you? What does this mean? What does this mean? And I felt like it was a lot of felt like I had to be in the relationship, and it wound up not being neither of them wound up being good relationships for me, but I was like, they have known me, that kind of thing.
yeah.
So like trying to like make people understand that you don't need that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take a look again real quick because I'm hearing so many pings. Straw Hat, thank you for the $100. Mr. Neko. Mr. Neko, thank you for the 20. M Mac, thank you for the 50. And Anonymous, thank you for the 50.
Let's go.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm hearing a lot of people from
my
my
gosh.
stream donating. Good job.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah. If
Mhm.
you're coming over, if you're coming over from Coco's community and you're donating, thank you. Thank you for supporting trans rights. We
Mhm.
appreciate it.
Oh,
We love you.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, we are about 400 away from our $12,500 goal. Oh my gosh. Wow, wow, wow.
Oh, it's gone so
Um,
far. Let's go.
It has. It has. It has. You popped in earlier when it was like under 1,000, you know?
Damn.
That's wild. Let's
Wow.
go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not a fan, I swear. Thank you for the
It's
gift
wild.
subs. I really appreciate
Yes.
that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Yep, yep.
you.
It's
All right. Let me see what else I can grab for us here. Let's see. Oh, sure. I mean, I have answers to this, and anyone else can chime in for this one, but someone's got a question asking if you can answer safely within TOS. I mean, yeah, we can answer pretty much anything because we are doing an educational stream. So
Yes.
that you know, we're not doing anything for sexual gratification. So it's we can pretty much talk about terms whenever we want to. So the question is, any information for rear end safety, training, cleaning, maintenance, etc. Yeah, if anyone has anything, wants to give some advice, otherwise, you know, I can pop in based on what I know.
I've never done butt stuff, so I can't.
the
Google.
only thing that I know. I also do not do butt stuff, but
Oh, great.
one of my exes was interested in that kind of thing, and they told me how to, you know, prep myself. But I
Right,
was just
right.
like, it's not my thing though. And then they're like, "Oh, but you love me, right?" I'm like, that doesn't sound very
That's toxic.
healthy." Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's not a vibe.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not gonna do it because it doesn't make me feel good, and it, you know, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But it's mostly stuff that they also found on the internet. Just like making sure that everything is nice and clean down there, and that you have healthy diet, so you could push all that stuff out. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about, you know, something coming out too. You know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's the only thing I know because I haven't personally done it, so I can't like fully give like an
Well,
educated answer for that.
well, as an avid
Wow.
enjoyer. So
Here we go.
So,
Okay.
So there's a lot that goes into it. You mentioned a lot being you know, a diet, maybe just not eating as much that day, right? And something that I've always had an easy time with is just I like to call it like an everything shower, right? When you get a shower and you clean a little bit of everything, right? And when I say a little bit, I mean it's a deep cleanse, all right? And sometimes like this is something you can look up absolutely online and find good recommendations for this kind of stuff, because you got to be very careful, because the internals are very they hurt, all right? Like if you're not used to it, if you have no at all like experience with it, make your baby steps, all right? You don't want to go from nothing to PP, you know. So be a little careful. There will be lack of better terms, ripping and tearing. so if you're not careful enough,
It's just like playing Doom.
it really do be. You know, you just put on a BFG and you go at it in the shower, okay? Like
Rip and tear.
yeah. So, but I always suggest something that I like to get is like a shower head that's made for it. Like you get one of those shower heads that has like the hose to it, and then you get like an interchangeable like head for it or whatever to help with like a good cleaning and whatnot. And that can go a long way, honestly. So, and depending on how long you want to play, you know, it's depending on how deep you should clean, right? So that's probably my advice. That's what I normally go with. There's some simple advice there. Definitely Google. Google's your friend. So
Yes.
yeah, for this in regards to this.
I had a friend who had a bidet.
Yeah, and I think.
Oh, bidets are awesome.
Oh no, bidets are sick.
You should get a
but
bidet. Everybody should have.
Everyone
a bidet.
should just have one. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree, because it's good for vagina health too.
It won't
So,
get as deep as you need, but it'll be a good start. All right, everyone should clean their butt.
Yeah.
Clean butt's a happy butt.
But yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. I think the important thing too is, like, this goes for anything, but when you want to know something, at the end of the day, yes, we're going to give you advice, but also make sure that you do your research too, right? So at the end of the day, none of us are medical professionals, I don't think. None of us are medical professionals, so we can just give you our advice based on what we know and kind of set you off in a direction for some additional kind of research and things to do when it comes to, questions like this. Don't be embarrassed or afraid to talk to your doctor, right? That stuff is always confidential. Your doctors literally have whatever you think you're going to ask, they've gotten weirder questions.
Absolutely.
And it's their job to help you be healthy, and kind of take care of yourself. So you can always ask that kind of stuff. All right. Okay. Anyone else have anything to add on that one?
Good luck.
No. Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Just prep. Prep is good, all right? Just be careful, go easy. Never try and just force it to fit. Oh, another good one. If you've never done anal at all, getting like a dildo or something like that is like of a triangular shape to kind of ease things a little bit, so you're not just going like with the blunt end of whatever you might have.
Oh, right.
Something like that can help,
Clean hands too.
Yeah,
clean hands too. That's why I always suggest a shower.
Yes.
They sell trainers, right? They sell beginning sizes for things like butt plugs and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
you should start with a beginner plug.
Yes.
Right? If you're gonna, or something small, something similar. Also, please, if you're using like training, you're new to butt stuff or whatever, or even if you're not, don't ever like be like, it'll be fine. Please always make sure you're using stuff that is anal safe.
Yes.
Meaning you're using something with a flared base, something like that, because stuff will slip like that and you won't realize, and all of a sudden it'll be in you and you're just like, why can't I push it out? And that's a doctor's visit. That's an emergency room visit, right?
Oh, and you have to explain to your doctor why you have this object inside of you.
Yeah. Also, be careful as well. I know there's people with like latex allergies out there. There's latex lubricant as well, so be careful of that. Use water-based. But if you are in the shower, I would suggest latex-based, because obviously the water-based is gonna just wash off immediately. So you might be going in dry, and that's not what we want here.
No.
Yeah, which brings us to another question that I'm sure any one of y'all can jump in on.
Right.
Which is, can water be a temporary form of lubricant?
I do not recommend water.
No,
absolutely not.
Water is not a lubricant. Going in the shower does not mean just stick stuff in with water, because it's not going to work.
Because if you go in the shower, you could even practice it on your arm or your leg. If you run your hand up and down your arm or your leg or anything like that, your hand is going to be like, it's going to be bumpy. And it's not going to be slick and slimy with what you want. And I have done things with thinking that, water is just fine, and that shit hurts.
Oh yeah,
do that.
I've absolutely been lazy before, and I'm like, this is fine. No. It's never fine.
Yeah. It's not fine. Honestly, saliva. If you don't have lube, saliva is better than water.
Saliva is.
That's true.
Plus, it's kind of hot.
Yeah. That's my main lube. So basically, definitely do that.
Oh my gosh.
Don't trust water.
No, water is not your friend.
And please do not use soap either.
Oh,
like whether or not like you're gonna be doing like usual, like if you do anal or if you just do good old vagina inward woo anything like that, do not use soap
Yeah.
because that's gonna mess up your insides. It's not healthy. Do not do that. And make sure to research and
Yeah.
make sure that your body is compatible with whatever you're buying too.
Yes.
Otherwise, you could have like an allergic reaction, or it can
Mhm.
irritate you, or something like that. Just make sure that you are researching and you understand your body before you start like doing some other stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm gonna pause this real quick because I'm looking over and seeing more stuff that has come in. Kanzan or Konzon, thank you so much for $100. Hell yeah.
Fuckers.
Let's go.
Soul VTuber, thank you for $25.
Let's go.
Hey, thank you.
Leon, $20.
Oh.
Starry says Tobbs sent me. Starry just gave us $100. So thank you. Thank you. Yippee. And yippee was the word of the Among Us collab that we just
It was.
Yeah. And then Zen0, $25. Thank you so much. And Coda for $25. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, all the yippies in chat. Yeah, we can get some yippies in chat. Exactly. Yeah, we're talking about water. One of the things that it makes me think of is, has anyone experienced the like when you don't know better and you're like, ooh, hot tub sex sounds sexy.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know what else is bad inside of there? Chlorine. It's not great.
Oh yeah, right.
Not good.
Yes, it could be kind of bad.
Not only are the chemicals and stuff bad, but like we mentioned, water doesn't work like a lubricant, right? So when people are trying to do stuff in a hot tub or do stuff in a pool, it doesn't work the way that you want it to.
Yeah, both ways, by the way.
It's awkward.
Not just anal. Like you'll just dry everything out with water. All right, like it's not good.
It's not slippery. Like y'all can have some fun foreplay in the bath or the hot tub.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But like if you're gonna start with the penetrating, just make sure that you're not gonna go like diving right in.
Yeah, get out of the water. All right. Please and thank you for all of us.
Yeah.
Protect your goods.
Oh no, someone says I did pool sex once and the UTI I got was horrid.
Oh, that's what I was gonna mention.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
Yeah. Hot tubs are extra high bacteria. Yeah, just avoid stuff. Because I know sometimes people they don't think it through and you're like, oh, that's a sexy idea. You're with somebody, it's intimate, you're in a hot tub, like you start kissing and then one thing leads to another and it's like, no, just get out of the hot tub and go somewhere else.
Yeah, just get like in the lawn chair, like right next to it or something, or even get a blanket. Or just go inside
literally.
and get, like, the stuff that you need.
Literally anywhere else that's not that. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could get lost in the moment, but like you could get some bacterial infections and all kinds of other things if you're not careful.
Yeah, none of it's fun.
Yeah.
And then
Shasa Castivar, thank you so much for the $20 and Straw Hat. Thank you for the $35. Thank you. Yeah, look at all the love we're getting. Also, I saw the gifted sub from Croissant. Thank you for that for Coda. All right. If anyone else has anything else to add for this question, please do. Otherwise, we will.
There are water-based lubricants you can buy.
Yes.
But don't just use,
different.
Out of the sink. Don't jerk off in your sink or whatever.
Yeah. Also, if you're gonna try having sex in the shower, definitely avoid water-based lubricant as well, because it will just rub off and you'll be right back to water again. So totally get latex-based if you're looking to have fun. But also make sure your partner isn't allergic to latex, because that's bad. So be careful.
Yeah. Also consult with your partner for anything that you do, because even if you're not allergic to something, they might be allergic to something.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah.
So I feel like these are all conversations to have before your date or before you're gonna be doing something like that.
Communication being a healthy part of a relationship.
Communication is the main thing, or you're gonna have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to go update the dono goal because Vulcan with $100 just sent us over the $12,500 goal.
Oh,
let's
hell yeah. Let's go.
Wow. Oh my
Boogers.
gosh. Today has been a wild day. I can't believe you know, how generous everyone has been. I'm forever grateful, gamers.
Everybody's been so kind, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, they definitely have. It's been really nice to see.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right, so someone asks, yeah, assuming this is a serious question.
Okay.
Is coming during sex or self-pleasure supposed to hurt the balls? If you are experiencing your balls hurting when you are ejaculating, they should not be hurting.
Yeah, that's
That
not normal.
doesn't
Go
sound
talk
normal.
to your doctor. Yeah, please
yeah, go doctor. That's that.
please
Ay.
please talk to your doctor. Not shaming you, but it's that, no, that's not normal. If you're like edging for hours or something and you're getting the blue ball feeling or something, that's really the only thing I can
Yeah, that's the only thing I could even relate this to. Yeah.
Hours.
But if you're saying after or during, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. I would definitely go to a doctor to make
Yeah,
sure
they're-
it's not like a serious issue.
I've had plenty of ball pain. The doctors are kind of stumped.
Oh.
wait, are you going
Go
to
to
a-
another doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say talk to another doctor. We're
Yeah.
not certified.
Yeah, go to another. This isn't me. Okay. Well, whoever it is, it does. You don't have to say who it is, but you know, whoever it is,
Yeah.
go talk to a doctor, and also, yeah, you can ask to talk to a specialist
Yeah.
too, right?
Mhm.
I actually don't know. Like I know we have like gynecologists that specialize in like, you know, the vaginas and that whole reproductive system. I'm assuming that there would be penis doctors.
Probably.
I would assume
I
I think there's
so.
a doctor
imagine.
for everything.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't.
so.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know personally, but I assume that there would be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my recommendation would be to a urologist.
Mhm.
Oh, is a urologist the pee-pee doctor?
Maybe.
Is that what that is?
Why is that so cute?
Oh.
Pee-pee doctor. I like
Yeah.
Oh, go yeah,
Yeah.
go to the urologist, go to the
urologist,
pee-pee
look
doctor
at that.
and talk to
I
them.
learn something new every day.
You know? Is there a ball doctor, or is the urologist handle balls too?
Urologist seems to be a urinary tract, apparently. So potentially.
The package doctor.
Hmm.
I also like that.
I don't know, but well, you know who would know better than us? Your regular doctor. So just ask
Yep.
you know, ask doctors for advice and stuff like that,
We'll
and
send you
see
to
what
somebody
you can
who
get.
help you.
Well, now I have a
Yeah,
question.
Yeah.
You said
Okay.
people edge for hours?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something.
Yeah, that's something
Hours?
people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Days?
Like
Huh?
they'll get themselves there and then they'll stop, and sometimes they like let themselves go all the way back to like, you know, a reset
Oh
state,
my
Yeah.
god.
and then they like just go again, and they do that over and over and over and over again. Who's got the time for that? You'd be
It's
surprised.
at bedtime.
Let me tell
I'm
you.
trying to sleep when I'm in bed.
Oh, you don't lay in bed for a couple hours and just edge
Edging
yourself?
myself? No.
I have insomnia.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I have insomnia.
Yeah, I was gonna
have to
say-
do
I
something.
just watch TikTok, all right? But I'm just some other people's got other things to do, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those times when you're like, I'm sure everyone's experienced this copium. The like you go to bed and you're like, I'm kind of feeling it. So then you just start you know, enjoying yourself, and then before you know it, you're like, oh God, it's been like 4 hours. I was supposed to sleep so long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens to me.
Yeah. Sometimes it
Oh,
just
yeah.
happens.
Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it just happens. You go down a night of self-love and exploration.
I love those nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there
Yeah.
before.
Good
They're
times. Good
They're
times.
very
Good
lovely.
times.
Yeah.
Lots of self-discovery in them, all right? Like,
Hey, that's lewd.
Yeah. Thank you, Dylan and Linebow, for the donations. 15 and 5. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Well, yeah. So go see a doctor
Mhm.
Yes.
if your balls hurt when you come.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That should not be happening.
All right. This is kind of like the one we took. So just to let's see, pause up. Just to reiterate, yeah, congratulations on the stream. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have a simple question. I've recently decided to embrace the male side of my bisexuality, and I want to try out some toys. What would you recommend for oral, anal, and prostate stimulation? So anal, prostate stimulation, I'm gonna tell you, like we already kind of talked about. Start with beginner stuff. Literally get a beginner plug. Get a small plug.
Yes.
Mess around with that. Make sure you have some lube. Whenever you think you have enough lube, you can still afford to put more. Try stuff out like that, and you can kind of work it up from there. Yeah, I love whenever your chat turns you into a giant monkey.
right?
I think what's the best part too is like you have no control, right? You just
Zero.
you're just
Oh
your
my
yeah, it just
your
happens.
That's
primal
insane.
monkey just
I
comes
usually
out, yeah?
associate loud monkey noises, but I didn't want to interrupt you. So
We can all just get a little monkey.
I'm just explaining a
alright?
question, and all of a sudden, yeah. I mean, you can give us some monkey noises. No, we like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah, you're helping. You're like our first question. You're helping to explore and learn our kinks and stuff like that. I'm sure in some way,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so recommend for oral stimulation. I'm not sure. Is this like, are you talking about putting something in your mouth?
Long, skinny dildo. Yep. Put it in there.
Yeah.
Be careful. It will also slip. And that's way more dangerous.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, same idea. Make sure. If you can get, a dildo with like the balls on it or something, that's
something
gonna give you a
that'll
base or something.
Some brakes.
Yeah, that's always generally way more safe.
Yeah.
Some brakes. The e-brake.
Yeah.
I know that there's like G-spot ticklers, so I'm pretty sure that there's prostate ticklers too.
Oh, there are.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you can also do that, a lot of them are very skinny. If they're anything
Yeah.
like the G-spot ticklers. So definitely start off with small and clean hands too, because like
Mhm.
your fingers are pretty skinny, so that can help.
Yeah. Getting lost up there sounds scary. Yeah, I think getting anything lost inside your body where it doesn't like belong is a scary idea. So
Very.
always practice safety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be more careful than not.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that also goes well with like practicing on other people too, with your mouth. Also practice like that as well, because like gag reflex, you can test what you can do and what you cannot do with your fingers and with
Mhm.
toys. So
You can also train that away.
Yeah, that's very true.
squeeze your thumb. I know it's
Yep.
You can train your gag reflex away.
Yeah, you can.
That's
I
interesting.
always start with the toothbrush, and then you can go more than that. You brush the back of your tongue if you're gagging. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
But then you keep going, and then you kind of get used to it, and then you kind of baby steps forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like how you're like this, all of this.
Yeah.
You're like, yes.
Because Because like
That's so
'cause I
interesting.
used to like, well, I always whenever I brush my
Oh,
teeth, I brush
right,
my tongue, and
right.
like
As all
I
people
would
should.
gag
Mm-hmm.
because like I don't like the feeling of it. Well, a
Mm.
long ass time ago, anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And also brushing your tongue, kind of gave some training for that too, you know.
True.
Tricky is a pro toothbrusher, tongue brusher now. So
Yes!
Hey.
I must be
Yes,
doing it
yes,
wrong
yes.
because
Yes.
my gag reflexes are terrible, awful.
Mm-mm-mm.
I have a hard time like swallowing pills. So
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
I used
yeah.
to
that
be
will
like
do.
that.
I've heard that
mm,
before.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Like I used to like I was a very sickly child. So like whenever I was little, we always had to cut my pills in half because I
mm-hmm.
also like I said with brushing my teeth and brushing my tongue, I had a terrible gag reflex. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like training your body to not like react
Yeah.
so much to it. It sucks
Yeah.
in the meantime, for sure. And I know this is a myth, but honestly, when I squeeze my thumbs, it helps. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a mental thing because like I
Probably a
saw that it
mental
was a myth,
thing.
and I'm like, oh wait, this is helping. So I
Mm-hmm.
always squeeze both of my thumbs as hard as I can. Um, and that's always
And
helped.
whenever you brush your teeth, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay. Someone was asking if it's possible to train your gag reflex away specifically from smells. I don't
Probably
know.
I
I don't
don't
have
think that even
experience in
sounds
that.
fun to train away, all right? Because I feel
No.
like you got to prepare yourself for any kind of smell, and that's just not possible, all right?
Mm-mm-mm.
Like I was at this was a couple months ago. I was at a party, and one of my friends like kind of threw up a little bit, and I was helping to clean things up, right? And so the throw up itself was fine, right? Like it wasn't like cleaning things up was fine, but then it hit me, and then it was like that smell, and it was like boom, and I was like,
yeah.
it was bad. It was bad. It was not good. So I don't think I'll ever get over that smell in particular.
Yeah, that's not.
Nope,
I
nope.
can't. I can't deal with vomit. But I have to do it anyway because I have pets, and
Oh God,
yeah.
I hold
Ah,
my breath as
yeah.
long as I can, as
Mm-hmm.
long
I've
as I
had that
can.
though. Yeah.
But like even the warmth fucks me up a lot too, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible.
Ugh.
I smells are a different story when it comes
Mm.
to gag
Yeah.
reflexes for me. So
Yeah, I feel like whenever I would do something, like changing a particular stinky litter box or something like that,
mhm.
I would do the thing where you like pull your shirt up over your nose or something. You
Yeah.
like try to cover yourself, and it kind of helps to some degree, but otherwise,
I've been using my COVID
yeah,
masks
no.
whenever I have to like do
You're-
something.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's smart.
Yeah.
That was a big brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like okay, just throw that on and let me just clean your litter box, little kitty cat, and everything's perfectly fine. Or like
Yeah.
if my cat has a hairball, like you have to clean that up too. And then I have a dog, and sometimes she eats too fast, and then she'll throw up. So then,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not
Mhm.
about.
Mm. Okay. Let's see.
More water.
Oh, here's one.
What?
Move on to another question. Someone asks, how do you handle when your partner has a kink you don't like? This one's kind of a relationship advice.
Oh.
Communication. Talk to
Mhm.
them.
Yes.
You just got to be open about it. You got to tell them, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. If you're in a relationship, you both have to listen to each other. It's not going to work out if you're going to be forcing your partner to be doing something. So
It's a two-way street.
yeah, you gotta talk to them, let them know that you're not into it or you're not comfortable with it.
Mhm.
If it's something that you'd be okay to learn with time, you also have to tell them that. Like, I'm not okay with it right now. Maybe I could get into it later. But you know, if you are just dead set not okay with it, you just gotta tell them.
Yeah.
Do not let anybody manipulate you into doing something that you don't want to do, however. Because this goes back to like
Yes.
the same thing that happened to me about like how I'm not into anal anything but stuff related. And like my ex was like, but you love me, right? You would try anything, right? But I wasn't comfortable with it, and I knew it would not make me feel good. And I'm like, how about we focus on things that we would both feel good? And sometimes you have to
Right.
compromise. And
Yeah, that's super toxic.
yeah, so like make sure that you are not like going out of your element and making somebody and like pleasing somebody else, because you need to be happy too. And if your partner can't respect that boundary, it's probably a bad sign in my opinion. Yeah.
That's a red flag. Absolutely.
Yeah. 32A852 just donated $500.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm so proud of
Hell
I'm
yeah.
so proud of my community. I've heard so many names from my chat so far, and it melts my
That's
heart.
awesome.
I love
Yeah.
everybody.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you all the wonderful people who are popping in here. I know there's been a lot of people here in my chat tonight who came in from someone else's community, or maybe you saw the post on Twitter. I've seen a lot of that too. People saying they saw the post on Twitter and they wanted to come support. So thank you all so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. People popping in and just hanging out with us today. Hope you all been having a good time. I've been having an amazing time. Yeah,
It's been
it's been good.
Nice. Very fun. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
More.
More.
$10,000 dono right now. More.
Meow.
Oh my gosh. We okay, so I feel like we've gotten this question a couple times since I started the show a few months ago. And I think the thing that we always have to get down to is that hard acceptance of sometimes you and your partner, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you get along on all the other aspects, it is possible that you and your partner may just be sexually incompatible.
Yep.
It may come up, and you have to both just kind of ask yourself, how does that play into your relationship? Are you okay with that? Are you not okay with that? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. So if your partner has a kink that is just, extremely important to them, and it just does not vibe with you, and they're really like trying to push you to do it or whatever it might be, that may be a sign, but yeah, you definitely don't want to do something that you don't want to do, right? Don't let someone force you. Like Tricky was saying, don't do that. It's not healthy. It typically a lot of the time too becomes one of those like give an inch and they take a mile kind of thing. Like you try a little bit and it just becomes more, and you don't want to get stuck in one of those situations.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not good. It just gets worse,
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
while like relationships have like their hardships and stuff like this, if it's a problem that keeps happening very frequently, especially when it comes to like your kinks and stuff like that, where you're having an argument about something like that, it's like she said, like if you do that, you're probably not compatible sexually, and sometimes it does take exploration to realize that between partners. So and it will happen more ways than you would probably expect it to happen, but as long as you like are understanding that, like, okay, well, let's talk this out and let's see what we need to do. If there's a compromise, that's perfect. If you really love this person and you can make a compromise, and that person is willing to do shit and all that fun stuff, then you can, that person's fine. The spinning, I always spin too. So yes, so you also have to really make sure that you are with somebody who will give you the time of day for that kind of communication. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. It's really, this kind of helps my ADHD brain to like focus on something. Just watching
right
like
round, baby,
spin.
right round.
We love that. We love that. Something a couple things.
Oh, thank you.
First, $20 from Sirac King, thank you. $20 from Jake of the West, thank you. $8.53 from Tommy Baham, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's let me see in chat. There was someone was mentioning in regards to the question before. Where did it go? Okay. Having worked in city infrastructure sewer, you can become immune to some of the worst scents over time, but you'll still get hard nose from your mind. Breathing in and out slow and shallow can mentally shut down a reaction to a smell.
What do you mean?
Interesting. Is that something they like taught you when you were doing it, or you learned from other people, or is like something you figured out?
It sounds like something you could learn or could be taught,
Great stream.
Are we?
Oh my gosh. Rising Surge, thank you for the dono. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Surge. It's good to see you, hun. They like the Oni transformation. It always works.
It's quite sexy.
They like the purple.
Yeah,
right? Purple's hot.
It's good. It's nice. Yeah. I agree. Someone says, yeah, you just don't breathe deep. Your violent reaction is usually a mental response to the body concerned about disease. That makes sense. Not breathing deep, remaining calm, and just some exposure cuts the worst of it from most of it. It's not pleasant at all, but it's not explosively vile either. That's interesting. Yeah, it is kind of like you have to mentally train, I guess, right?
Oh no, I can't do that very easily.
Can I just oh, this gripper is tricky.
I can give you the bottom.
There's a over here too.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all are giving us free Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to train my scent or something, but
I'll do one big one.
Oh,
oh my goodness.
One big one.
That is a big sniffer.
A very big sniffer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just a sniffer. Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Hope you like feathers.
Put your hands up. You are
feather
arrested
feet.
for being
I'm
horny.
surrounded by feet.
You're going to horny jail.
Oh no! Let me scroll my chat without moving my model.
Same thing happens to me all the time.
All the time,
All the
right?
time.
I'm literally
Stop.
constantly just like, please, I don't want to shrink right now or grow. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to like scroll up in my chat, and all of a sudden, chat's like, "Oh yeah, no, leave it there, leave it there." I'm like,
Yep,
"Stop,
same here.
stop,
You're like, no.
stop."
Ooh. I love it here.
Oh, are we zooming? Are we zooming? Are we doing this?
Oh, is that where?
Oh my
Are
gosh!
we...
Zoomies.
All right,
Hey, that's
chat.
good.
Chat is unhinged. Chat is going wild. Come on, chat. Come on, chat. To answer your question, since both are from me, it's something I learned from my life in general. I had to clean up some horrible things as a child, and don't have the luxury to throw up and gag at it.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's I feel like it takes strength. Oh, I see Vil in chat. Vil with the hard eyes from all the feetsies. Yeah. Why am I not
Honestly, that sounds
surprised?
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I also do want to, remind chat and give another shout out to the three wonderful people that I'm here with today.
Hello.
Coco, Tricky, and Veronica.
Hi.
So please check out that collab command that's there. Make sure you drop everyone a follow too. Yeah. All right, best stream ever? Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
Okay, let's see what else I can get. Maybe one of y'all can throw something here. Let me take this question and see what we can do with it. Somebody asks, I am on the oh my
It's like an
gosh.
automatic response. It's just as soon as I hear it. I'm like,
I mean, yeah, chat's making me go all sweaty. We're getting sweaty for this question. I
ooh,
guess.
all right. Spicy.
I'm on the ace spectrum, but trying out various toys and such, so my stuff is in good working order. Should I? Well, okay. Let me try to read this again with punctuation. I'm on the ace spectrum, but trying out various toys and such, so my stuff is in good working order. Should I be in a relationship so I can provide for my partner's needs? But I haven't really found anything that floated my boat. Am I approaching this wrong? Are there resources to find what sorts of things would work, etc., etc.? Okay, so it took me a second to understand, but I think what this person is saying is that they know they're on the ace spectrum,
Right.
but they're trying to experiment. What concerns me is the idea that you say you're experimenting for your future partner's needs, as opposed to just experiment if you want to experiment.
To talk a little differently on this,
Kind of
I've dated
thing.
someone who was ace.
Sure.
And it's something that just because you are asexual and not interested in sex personally, it's not that it's a negative. It's more of you just don't have a drive for it in most cases. So you still want the romantic relationship that sex can provide to an extent, right? So it's something that a lot of people do try and do so that they can provide for their partner in case their partner wants that. It's definitely an understanding of their own comfort that they have come to now to kind of like, you know, when they do get into a relationship, kind of like, you know, provide for them or whatnot. My ex-boyfriend, for instance, was like, yeah, I'm not really into sex, but like I'll dick you down. And I'm like, oh, if you're comfortable with that, then sure, right? And that's kind of like, you know, it's kind of dating someone who was ace was definitely eye-opening for sure, because when you find out there are people out there that like there's just not much of a sex drive, right? And they're very misunderstood. Absolutely. Like love my ace homies out there. All right. I understand your struggle. So, but I don't think it's awful, right? I definitely think it's as long as they're they're comfortable in themselves fooling around and prepping for things, sure. But don't prep for it thinking that you have to at the end of the day, right? If that's what you want romantically, then sure, go for it. But if it's something that you're forcing yourself because you feel like you can't be loved without providing sex, that's not how it works. You can find someone who can provide everything for you, you know?
Yep. I think you nailed it.
Yeah,
I think that's essentially the it's kind of what I was trying to get at. Yeah. This idea that you don't do something because you think you have to, do something because you know you want to, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think people on the spectrum are extremely misunderstood a lot of the time because people have assumptions. People think in absolutes a lot of the time. So, oh, you're ace, so you have no interest in anything sexual.
Oh, you're ace,
right?
so you can't
and
get
it's like,
hard. Like, it's so weird. Like, people.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
yeah. all kinds of things that people kind of misunderstand instead of understanding that it's a spectrum, right? It's a spectrum for a reason. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things that people want. Whether people want romantic relationships is also another part of that, right? Like some people do, some people don't. Some people are sex repulsed, some people are not. You know, some people are, like you said, they're just not interested in it, but they you know, they're okay if it's with someone that they really care about and the other person wants it. Like yeah.
You will find a partner that is compatible in every way. Like, you don't have to force yourself. If you are repulsed by the idea of sex or anything regarding that, um, that wouldn't be a happy relationship for you. And as somebody who used to also be a people pleaser, especially in relationships, I would put myself in situations that I have regretted because that's not fully what I wanted. But I wanted love, and I was lonely, and I was like, I'm putting myself in this really bad situation for the wrong reasons just because I'm lonely. And you will find somebody who will accept you for all of you, even if you are repulsed by something like that, or if you are anxious about sex, or even if you're not even into sex. If you have a, you will find somebody who is compatible for all the things that you were looking for. But my main thing is self-love. Like, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, struggle with appreciating myself before I even think about getting into a relationship, because like once you go through that huge journey of healing and going through all the stuff that you've already gone through and bad experiences, blah 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 blah, you know, that kind of thing. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to give love to somebody else?
That's literally one of the number one lessons I say. I always say, like, how are you going to love someone else if you don't love yourself? And how are you going to take care of someone else if you can't take care of yourself? You know what I mean? Like, they're very important first steps.
Yeah.
Self-respect is important.
In my belief, I do not think that finding a relationship will heal you. I feel like you find the best relationships once you have gone through that self-discovery and that self-love and that self-healing, and then you will attract somebody who has also been through something like that, and then you can grow together, that kind of thing. So,
it is beautiful.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show for sure. We talked about that idea that you know, people that feel really down and depressed and they are like desperately looking for someone because they think it's going to make them feel better, and they want to know like what they can do to attract somebody. And you know, it becomes that catch-22 of the most attractive thing you can do is have that confidence and have your shit together, right?
Absolutely.
You know, at least into a sense where, like, when I say that, it's not like you have to have literally everything has to be going right in your life and this or that. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to have direction. You need to have drive. You need to have, like, you don't have to be perfect, right? It's okay if things are wrong, but you have to be someone who's like actively working on yourself, making progress. You have goals, like things like that. You have a confidence about what you're doing with your life and where you're going. And that is attractive, right? That's the kind of thing that is attractive to people. Yeah, I think it's basically, what Tricky is saying. Like, your relationship is not what makes you valid, right?
Yeah.
You have to find validity in yourself, right? You have to make your own life, and then a relationship can be a part of that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know that path is very, very hard. As someone, I have also and still struggling with severe depression, anxiety, PTSD, and panic disorder. It's not easy. Taking the steps that you need to take in order to better yourself and actually finding that self-respect and that self-love for yourself. It's a huge journey. It's just like going to the gym and training your physical body. It's like you're training your your mentality of how you view things, and then again you'll be able to attract people who are also going through like that same journey, and then you grow together. And always remember that you're not like no one's perfect, and that's okay. um and then once you have that self-respect, you know what is disrespectful for, in relationships as well. It's like, wait, that's very disrespectful towards me. And then you learn that, oh wait, am I being disrespectful towards my partner as well? Because like it's takes two to tango. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
Yeah.
Life be like that sometimes.
Very true.
It
Yeah.
be like that.
Yeah, very, very, very good points though. Yeah.
Mm.
I want to pop back into donations really quick. We got a QC number 1 with $10. Thank you. Broken Marionette with $150. Thank you. Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness.
And Must Be Jivo with $20. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, was that another one? Oh, Ari Gomu, thank you for the 50. Hi, Ari. Thank you so
Hey.
much. Thank you. Yeah, we are creeping towards that 15,000. We are at 13,370. Thank you. All right, let's see. This is always a good question, and we can kind of look at it from the kind of open-ended idea too about let's see, how did you discover your gender identity or sexuality?
Ooh,
Oh boy. Oh, here we go.
and
Story
the
time.
idea, yeah, and and the idea of like advice. I guess we can go that way too. Advice for people like when it comes to exploring and things like that. Yeah. Anyone want to start? You can go for it.
Well, the
I'm gonna
how.
hydrate.
I kind of always knew, but it wasn't until I was an adult and older that I understood what was happening. So it wasn't until this was like a few years ago, that I only just realized that I was gender fluid, because I didn't know there was a word for it. I was just like, oh, I just have a strong other gender side or whatever. Like, oh, that's totally normal. And then I was talking to a friend and they're like, yeah, I don't feel like that at all. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, maybe
That's
you're
always
the
how it
weird one or
goes.
something, And then talk to another friend. They're like, yeah, I don't feel that way either. I'm like, oh, okay. So this feeling I've had my whole life, I guess there's a word for it, And so the how was always there. I just didn't know what to put to it. So sometimes it takes a while to find out. But don't be ashamed, that is something too, like especially these days too, like everybody's so much more accepting, and like you can just talk to a friend about it, or if you're having troubles discovering yourself, like sometimes talking to somebody else will help you try and help you discover where you are.
Chat is asking, can we get a clarification on gender fluid?
Well, for me, it's that I feel like both male and female. Like I associate with both male and female genders.
And it kind of depends on your feelings in the moment, sort of thing.
Like it's not like I wake up, I'm this gender, or the next day I'm this gender. It's like it could be 1 minute I'm feeling this way, next I'm feeling that way, or sometimes both. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I was big and strong and had huge muscles and a big beard or something. And some other times I'm like, oh, I really want to put my hair up in a ponytail, and I want to wear a dress and like, I don't know, be all pretty. And but also dresses are not gender specific, just so you know.
That's true.
So it's like a fluctuating, like a fluid. Sometimes it goes this way, goes that way. I don't know. It's hard to kind of explain your brain.
Yeah, the brain
It's
be
the
jumping
motion
all over
of the
place.
ocean, you just ride the waves. This is gender fluid.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, yeah, for those of you that, hear terms or things that you're not familiar with, I think a lot of it is, a lot of people don't really understand, what the term trans means, right? Like, we're talking here about, we're doing VTubers for trans rights, and you hear trans and you hear cis, and they're, they're essentially one or the other. It's kind of like an umbrella term. Trans essentially means that you don't solely or at all identify with the gender that you were assigned at birth. That's generally what the trans umbrella means. So that could mean that someone, doesn't identify at all, right? Someone was assigned male at birth and says, no, that's not me at all. I'm not male at all. I'm female, right? Or it could be that someone was assigned male at birth and says, yeah, I do feel male and I do feel female, and it's something like gender fluid. Someone could be assigned female at birth and have the same idea. I feel female, I feel a little male, and it could be like that kind of thing. We have all kinds of different terms, and rather than go through every single one, I recommend that, if you're curious, you can look up, kind of do some research to explore gender and explore like different kinds of trans identities, so you can have a bit more of an understanding, because there's gender fluid, there's bigender, there's agender, there's female to male, there's male to female, there's non-binary.
It's a spectrum, it's a big old spectrum.
There's so much stuff, much stuff. And I wish that we learned more about it when we were younger, but
right?
Yeah, same.
Imagine.
Jesus.
Same. It'd be so much more helpful. Unfortunately, there's so much legislation and stuff where they're terrified to teach kids about things, and that's really, that's the problem for those of us that grow up and realize that we're queer, or we're part of this LGBTQ community in some way, is that we didn't get the education that we needed, and we didn't know certain things at certain times, right? So,
and what's
like to go back to the I'm sorry, go for it, Tricky.
Wait, you go first.
No, I was gonna go back to the questions. We can do that after. You go. What's up? What's up?
Hang on, ADHD. Wait, I was gonna.
Me too.
It'll come back to me one day.
Okay, I'm sorry. Wait, sorry.
Can you repeat the last thing that was said, and it might come back?
Yeah, we were talking about the gender spectrum, and
I got it. Thank you. The other thing about not being educated in a lot of this stuff has made a lot of people feel shame for what they actually discovered about themselves, and that is like a spiral that, like, you should not feel shameful for how you feel about your body and what you want to do with yourself. And because of how a lot of people have been raised, it's like, well, my parents don't agree with this, or my friends wouldn't agree with this, and I have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not for the validation of people who will probably never accept. And I feel like there are people in your life that are not meant to be in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you need to be around people who will 100% support you for the positive choices that you make with your own body, because it's your body. You can do anything you want to do with it. You can do anything that your mind, whatever you want to do with your body, as long as it's positive. Like, I'm not trying to encourage, like, don't be negative to people. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But, I know with how a lot of people are raised, you might feel shame, and don't feel shame for being yourself, basically.
Yeah.
I hate a lot of how a lot of people were raised and what people have told them, so they feel like they can't be themselves. But you can be yourself.
That was kind of my situation. I grew up in a very small, hyper Christian town, so I didn't really get to learn a lot of things, or a lot of the things were just like, it is this way, and that's how it's supposed to be. And it was like,
right.
I never agreed with them, thank God. But
Yeah, that was the same. I like that's exactly the environment that I was in whenever I was little and growing up, and that affected how I made choices back then. But like it's never too late to learn and learn from ignorance as well, especially if like you've been like
Mm-hmm.
clouded by other people who may have like darkened your view on certain things. And that's just like an ignorant blanket that has like clouded judgment and stuff like that. And that's perfectly fine too. But like I think that
Yeah.
learning to fully accept yourself is very, very important in self-discovery and what you have become.
Um. Yeah. Let me quick because they're piling up,
Oh,
and I
yeah,
just
go
want to
ahead.
make sure that
go
I
ahead.
throw some attention here. Baked Beans Connoisseur, what a great name. Thank you for the $69.
Let's go, big beans.
Thank you.
Thank you for the $69. Blastio Boots, maybe? Thank you for $200.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
That's many.
Doc Jackal, thank you for 5. It says transfers to human rights. We aren't taking away other people's rights by wanting to be seen or equal, wanting to be treated with basic human decency. Yeah, the day we can live without being threatened by legislation will be beautiful, and I hope I can live long enough to see it. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Would be
We
appreciated.
have someone that looks like they're doing the little smiley face, like the :3C. Gave us $200. So thank you. Thank you. And Anonymous, $10. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. That's everyone has been so generous today. We really appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I want to, and I think y'all know this, but when you're dropping donos and we don't see it right away, or we don't respond to it right away, it's, we want to finish our thoughts, and there's more than one of us at least with ADHD up here, so it's really important,
Probably
that
all
we
of
do
us.
that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
All of us. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
So I might
Yeah, I'm
lose
like-
my train of thought a few times, and I apologize as well.
Happens constantly. It's like a blessing and a curse when it comes to VTubing.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
It's like some things are great and some things are like, oh no, what am I
It's a
doing?
double-edged sword for sure.
Like the blank out. You ever have the blank out where you're just all of a sudden
Every
like,
day.
what am I doing?
Yeah.
Where was like what?
Every day.
Yeah.
Forget why
Head
you went
empty.
somewhere. You're like, oh, why am I here? All right.
Yeah.
Outta here.
Yeah. Can we get some yippies in chat for ADHD? Yeah. We got our there we go.
There we
Yeah.
are.
Perfect.
We're
Let me
good.
get a yippee.
We love that. Yeah, but when we come back to this question, how did you discover your gender identity, sexuality? Yeah, it definitely, for me, it took a long time because I didn't know. I wasn't until my mid-20s. Like I didn't really know what was going on, and it was all the classic, like, the quote unquote egg scenarios where you should know that you're trans, but you don't know. Like, again, those are the questions of like, doesn't everybody want to be a girl? Doesn't everybody think about what it's like to like have a girl's body and wake up as a girl and like just like all this stuff? And I I was in the entertainment industry and I did screenwriting, so I was like, oh yeah, like cool sci-fi ideas of like, being able to like upload your brain into like a girl's body. That would be so cool, right? Just really fucking obvious things. That it wasn't until it wasn't until my mid-20s that I kind of just realized at one point that this collection that I had basically of like women's accounts and things that I was like following, it was one of those things where it was like, I don't want to be with these women. I want to be these women. It was, that realization. Yeah, which was just like, okay, well, I guess this is what's going on. And, for anyone who is exploring gender identity or sexuality, something that's important to note is that when you quote unquote realize, you still might not realize, like, it's still a journey. It's still like, it went from me being like, am I non-binary? Am I gender fluid? Am I, like, I didn't know what it was. And it took me a little bit before I ended up on, no, I'm just a woman, I'm just female, and that's it. Like, that's my identity. So it's okay. It's okay also to kind of move between things depending on what you think kind of feels right as you're exploring it, right? You can quote unquote settle on something and then realize a few months later that, you know what, maybe it was gender fluid, maybe it was non-binary, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Give yourself time, and don't put pressure on yourself to have the answer right away, because you don't need to. Right?
And it takes a while sometimes. Because it took a long time for me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Very long time.
Marshmallow, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, let me see. There's chat. I want to let you know that as I'm talking, I'm reading your messages, and I'm seeing just like so much good stuff being said, and I'm seeing people respond to each other. So I appreciate that. I appreciate, the conversation that y'all have with each other in chat and the things that you're saying. I'm sorry that we're not able to respond to every single thing that gets said, including like these very well thought out paragraphs that I see constantly. But yeah, we really appreciate
Thank you for sharing.
Chiming in. Yes. Especially that it takes a lot to share your own personal experiences. So thank you, chat, for those of you that are doing that kind of stuff. And it helps other people, for someone in chat who might be going through what you're going through, and you share a little paragraph about what your experience is, and someone's like, hey, that's me too.
It's just really good to express yourself in general, and this is a safe space for you to do so.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very, very lovely to be able to see so many people with their own like individual stories and their experiences. And even if you had like a negative story at the beginning, that you're going to be going to something more positive, and your stories do help people be more confident with their selves. And I'm sure there's lurkers as well who are like, just like, whoo, like I'm feeling something.
That's true. There's always tons of people that are just kind of watching, too shy to talk or whatever it might be. I see someone say, literally during a middle school creative writing assignment, came up with a machine that could be used to alter your body, and immediately went to get a college level chemistry textbook and collecting broken pens as if I was going to make it. Yeah, it's always funny when we think of these things. Like, that's a really cool idea. Like, I like how the copium I had of like, it's just a sci-fi script, smile. I'm not trans. And I think the thing that was weird is like, I knew that trans people existed, right? But I didn't really understand what the trans identity was. I didn't really understand like anything really. So when I was, and the media does not do trans people any favors. So when you're sitting there trying to figure yourself out and you're like, could I be trans? I don't think so. Like, it was one of those moments where you just kind of have to get yourself to the place where you're learning what trans identity really is for you to understand whether you align with it or not.
I had a really weird experience on discovering on discovering just being trans in general. I definitely knew at a very young age that, like, when you're sitting at the foot of your bed and you're told time and time again that, like, oh yeah, God will answer your prayers and yada yada. Growing up in a Christian household, I'd be there at the end of my bed being like, please let me wake up as a girl tomorrow. And that was always like how it went. And it was one of those things where I would ask family the same thing as all y'all being like, oh, hey, don't you ever think about how it'd be to be a girl or, whatever. And then I'd be told it's like, oh, it's better. You got a penis. You can go pee outside or whatever stupid stuff like that. But it wasn't until like a lot of exploring online and whatnot, but I never really came across exactly like the terminology for being transgender until, funnily enough, a hardcore conservative family complaining, and Fox News complaining about Caitlyn Jenner in 2015, I think it was. And I remember being like,
that.
I remember being like, wait, you can do that? Wait, what? was so confused. I was like, that's amazing. So a couple years after that, I was in a very long-term relationship that kind of like kept me from coming out a little bit, not in a bad way, but they were scared that if I couldn't be their boyfriend anymore, that we couldn't date because they're not attracted to girls, but they totally respect me being trans, right? But I was like, oh, I don't want to lose them. I don't want to be lonely. So I kept myself running along that for a little bit.
Right.
And for anyone who has ever explored virtual reality, one of the things that helped my awakening was VR chat. If you guys have ever heard that little game before. And it was, I remember loading in and immediately wanting to get into a female avatar and just like looking at myself and getting all giddy and like getting all like excited and stuff, that I even cosplayed myself, like my OC at TwitchCon. And TwitchCon 2018 was it. That was the realization. I knew it. And by December, because I think TwitchCon, I got home in November. I came out in December. Literally told my family and everything. I'm like, yep. And I started my transitional journey in 2019. So,
Let's go.
yeah. And that was at 25. And I started HRT at 26. For anyone wondering, there's never a time that's too late to just be yourself. So just, you know, just got to push yourself, you know? And or not, you know, because you don't have to. Let's just put this out there. Societal norms and social constructs, all the gender stuff out there is bullshit. But do whatever makes you comfortable, you know. And if you are comfortable identifying as a gender that was not assigned to you at birth, you know, then I don't know, shoot for the stars, right? Just go all out. That's what I suggest to anyone, is just like, I just push myself. I'm almost 30 years old and I'm the happiest I've ever freaking been in my life, you know? Like, I got tits last year. Let me tell you what. Oh my God.
Let's go.
Oh my God. It was awesome.
Titties.
It was awesome. I went from a 34B to a 34 double D and I'm never looking back. All right. It was great.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I love it here.
Yes.
I love self-discovery. Let's go.
We love that.
That makes me happy. I'm very happy for everybody.
Yeah, can we get some yippies for boobs in chat? Yippies for boobs.
Love boobies.
Here we go.
We love boobies. Yeah. Nice. I think one of the coolest things too is like I do see a lot of trans people that use VR chat. And so one of the things is like when you go down the VR chat hole, right? Like you get your headset, you get your full body tracking, you're like moving around. And then as you start hormones, the day that you go to like hit your avatar's boobs and you realize, oh, wow,
there's boobs there now.
Those are my boobs. I
have a TikTok that blew up months ago of me explaining that exact feeling and people being like, true.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, the growth that happens. Yeah, I know that everyone has different bodies and different genetics and things, but yeah, I've been lucky enough to get some pretty fat titties.
Yeah.
Just from hormones on a
the better
years.
too. Oh goodness me! If I would have started at 20, I would have been good.
Yeah.
Titty, a good titty.
Oh yeah, any titty is
so
a good
definitely
titty.
if you're. You know, if you're I know it's a scary place. I know it's a scary place for people who are just kind of realizing that they're trans, because there's been a lot of like really negative legislation and things like that. But stay strong. Know that there's we don't know what's going to happen, and we do know that there's a lot of places that are protecting trans rights. And we have hopefully more and more states coming forward, like Minnesota, saying we're a trans refugee state, where you will be protected here and you can come here if you need to, and no one can extradite you if they make laws that say like you can't come here to get hormones or whatever it might be. Know that there are resources out there, and try to just kind of stay strong through it and see what you can do. I think that's always something that is really, really important. But know that you want to check out your options, see what you can do. Find out what your healthcare has available to you, because I know some states the healthcare doesn't cover it, or maybe there's legislation that's just getting passed where it doesn't cover it anymore. but some states have stuff that is a lot is covered that people don't know. Sometimes people don't know that going to see like a speech therapist, doing voice training is covered sometimes by medical insurance, facial feminization surgery, top surgeries, bottom surgeries. There can be all laser hair removal. Like there are some states cover a whole
I'm in
bunch
Cali.
of things.
Cali just like across the board. If you have decent health insurance, they're just like, oh, you want titty? Oh wait, you want like a facial feminization? Oh, we got honey, we got you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
the states
and
still are nice.
I know, right?
Bay states.
Yeah. So definitely, I know for some of y'all in chat, you may be in states that aren't as helpful, or maybe even countries that aren't as helpful. So just try to do your best to, stay strong, stay safe, and see what you can do to kind of plan something out, to maybe be able to relocate yourself into a place that's safer for you.
And I hope for the best.
Yeah, but I don't know
everyone.
I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on this one.
With the same question, or is my brain going away?
Oh no, anything. I mean, if there's anything you want to say on this question, or anything else you wanted to say on anything we talked about.
So like the whole self-discovery thing does take a while, and sometimes like taking your time, like it's okay. Like you might discover something completely different next year, or like maybe you found something out like a few years ago. Because I was like raised with also a very, very heavily Christian family, where I believe
like
that
that's a trend.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, oh, here we go. But it's nice to actually be able to talk to other people who have also like discovered themselves from that upbringing. Especially from upbringings that would like frown upon anything that doesn't fit their narrative in quotations, which I do not believe in at all. And so I thought that, okay, so I have to be a chick who marries a man only. And that's what I was raised thinking and believing. But I was like, but I also think titty cute. Well,
Titty do be cute. Yeah.
But I couldn't tell my parents that. And I was attracted to both men and females, but I didn't understand. I thought that there is something wrong with me because the way that I was raised, basically. And I was like, oh, there must be something wrong with me, right? Because my parents say that that's not normal. And I could burn for that, all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
So
all the fear tactics.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even like the actual like religion, but I'm not gonna get into that. It's just like I feel like people push like their own narrative of what they believe and try to be like, this is what it is now. And it's like, okay, can you tell me where you got this from? My brain. And my mom or my dad taught me this. And it's like, okay, great. You can't even back it up, bro. You're just being very ignorant. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's you might have. I feel like it kind of just naturally falls into this other question we have that I'm gonna pull up right now. Where it says, I was raised in a household in a region that is not very sex positive. Because of that, I have a lot of icks that aren't truly mine. Do you all have any advice on how to, for lack of better words, stop being a hard ass and relax and explore things without feeling guilt or wrong for exploring?
That ties in perfectly with this, actually.
Yeah. Go for it.
Wait, hang on. My mouth is, I'm like, have cotton mouth right now.
So
relatable.
I'm gonna drink some water very fast, but feel
my
free
gosh.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else here takes Adderall, but it was like started Adderall and it like dries my mouth out like nothing else.
I have.
Yeah, the only other time I feel like was even close was like when the few times I haven't like done or smoked weed too many times in my life, but like that whenever I smoke weed, I feel like it makes my mouth really dry, and this is the only thing that I'm like, oh god, it kind of feels like that.
Right.
You know,
I feel that.
feels kind of similar in that sense.
It happens a lot because I forget. Weirdly, I forget to swallow whenever I'm talking.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't forget to swallow.
I always swallow whenever it's whenever
Whenever it's convenient.
yeah, exactly. But then I'm just like, my mouth is so dry.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I think this kind of ties in, and we've talked a lot about these themes today, but the shame that people have. I think the two biggest things are shame and fear.
Yep.
Right.
Yes,
and it's kind of like the opposite ends of the people. I mean, both people, like whether you are LGBTQ or you're not, like I feel like both people end up having some sort of like shame or fear. In certain senses. If you are LGBTQ, you know, there's that shame, the societal shame of, you know, feeling those feelings, and having that identity, you know, being that person that you can't change because that's who you are. And then the fear that ties into that, right? And then, you know, it's different than everything you've been raised with potentially, if you haven't had support. And then, you know, for people that aren't part of the LGBTQ community, you know, I think a lot of them have, you know, sometimes shame around maybe not really understanding the like, why is it so bad kind of thing, right? Like people get that fear put into them of like, no, those things are bad and you have to be this way or whatever. And people are always, I mean, this is just kind of human nature. Like people are scared of things they don't understand. It's just a matter of being able to have the courage to take that step forward to say, I don't understand this and I want to learn more about it, right?
It takes a while to unlearn a lot of the things from your childhood if it was especially negative. Because I had a very chaotic upbringing, so I can understand the fear for that. And not only like for sexuality, but also racism where I was from, because I'm not white. I have African descent, and where I was around people, I felt like I just couldn't be myself. And people would look at me, look at my skin tone, and be like, "You are not a person." And then that drove me to be like, "Oh, okay, I have a slight attraction to women. I have to hide that as well, because otherwise no one is going to accept me." So a lot of the times I pulled a lot of things about myself and things that I wanted to explore, even in high school, that I would keep completely secret because I wanted that validation, because I was already not accepted for my skin tone where I was being raised, with not a lot of diversity. And there was a lot of discrimination. And I couldn't fully be myself. And it wasn't until I was an adult and I had my first actual crush on a woman where I was like, oh, I'm not straight. I'm not straight. Oh, okay. Is this okay? And then I'm like, I'm a full, well, I'm not like full grown or anything like that, but like I'm an adult now, and I would like to do things that will benefit me and my mentality, because if you force yourself not to do something, that you're gonna be miserable, yeah. But then I was also very confused about like, okay, well, then I can see somebody very, very, very attractive. Doesn't matter what gender you are. I'd be like, oh wow, but I don't get any like sexual stimulation from them or anything like that, which confused me because I would actually get into relationships, not very many, get into relationships where I'm like, okay, well, I'm attracted to you and we have good vibes, but I didn't really think about the sexual element of anything of it. And that's what confused me, and then I thought I was broken for that kind of thing, yeah. So and it wasn't until like a few years ago, not even well, I feel like it's been like 2 years now, or 3 years ago is whenever I discovered that I was demisexual, which means that I can see a lot of very attractive people. And yes, I'm a smut writer, but that's my imagination. I know it's
Right.
not with anybody else, it's my imagination. And then like my own sexuality comes out. It's not stimulated by anybody else. It's my imagination. I can't really watch a lot of videos and it will stimulate me because it just doesn't do anything to me. Which is because a lot of people are like, well, isn't that how a normal relationship should be? Like, you should just have that emotional connection to somebody. Shouldn't that be normal? But I don't get any kind of sexual stimulation from just that. If because I saw some people were confused by demisexual earlier, so just like to clear that up a little bit. Like, I could see somebody drop dead gorgeous, completely butt ass naked, and nothing will happen to me. But I still think they're really hot though. But nothing will happen unless like I get like full on emotional connection to them, or nothing's gonna happen at all. Because that's usually whenever the horny thoughts start kind of creeping up. I'm like, I like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you neat.
Yeah, I've also, I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is something that everyone feels or whatever, but I've also noticed with myself too, like I generally find people more physically attractive as I get to like know them better, if that makes sense. Like I'll have something where I'll be like, I don't remember thinking this person was like not thinking that they weren't attractive, but I don't remember thinking that I was particularly like super attracted to this person. But now that I've gotten to know them and they become like a better friend and whatever, like I find them more like physically attractive now. Like, did I never notice this? Like that kind of thing, right? Like, yeah.
I feel that. Like whenever it comes to, I suppose, just trying to unlearn what your mind has told you is bad. So whether or not it's your race, whether or not you're gender fluid, whether or not you're trans, whether or not you're lesbian, gay, anything, and you thought that these things were bad originally, but it's kind of like the same thing with the self-love thing. Like, you have to practice and understand that you're fine the way that you are, unless, like, I feel like sometimes we all have like toxic things that we need to like work out, you know what I mean? And it takes self-discovery to do that, so you can better yourself and all that manner of whatever. But it takes time, and it also kind of helps me to understand the anxieties that I have as well, especially so like for like an example, like whenever I was like really paranoid about like, oh, well, my parents hate that I have a tattoo and like women, what do I do?
Right.
Like, apparently they think this is bad, but it's not bad. Like, so I write down all the stuff of how like their opinion did affect me, because sometimes negative opinions from other people do kind of creep in. We try to not let that happen, but it creeps in sometimes. And then like we just need to bring it back to something positive and being like, wait, I discovered this about myself and there's nothing wrong with that, actually. And there's people who accept that, and those are the people that I need to surround myself with, basically. And like, obviously, okay, it's kind of hard to explain now. I'm trying to find the right words. I'm having an ADHD brain empty moment where I'm just like, hello, I am here.
Oh, it happens.
Well, hello, welcome. How's it going?
Thank you. You have a wonderful day. I actually completely lost my train of thought. Like,
mid talking, and that's embarrassing, and I hate when that happens, and I'm so sorry.
No worries. I literally, the same thing happens to me constantly, and I have to be like, and it feels so silly to think like I had all this well thought out stuff, and I can't for the life of me remember what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It happens to me. I love that.
Yeah. No worries.
I love ADHD.
But yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in on this question before we I think it's actually I'll see if it's a short one, but this might be our last one depending on what else we talk about. If anyone wants to add any thoughts to kind of like wrap up what we've been our theme of tonight or anything like that. Yeah, any additional thoughts on this, this theme of finding yourself or
I can just only talk on my own experience. When I came out, my fam not happy. No bueno. They're not like that one bit. I had my younger siblings telling me that I was ugly, that I'm going to hell. I had my grandmother say awful things to me. Basically, the woman who raised me, right? My mom and my grandma. My dad wasn't a big part of my life, so I didn't really have. He didn't say anything, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that's pretty typical, Dad." But like, I just left. I was kind of already moved out of the house, but I was living in state. I was still nearby, and I just kind of said, "Fuck it." I moved in with friends that I met from VR chat, from Twitch streaming, my new best friends who accepted me for who I was, and I just kind of ran with it. I moved to Tennessee for a couple years, and now I've been living in Cali for a couple years. I'll be moving to Oregon, hopefully, and then probably Texas to hang out with a bunch of other friends. Not exactly the best place for trans individuals, but what I'm trying to say is surround yourself with people who care about you. Surround yourself with people who accept you. And if you need to escape those places that you're at, do your best to, even if it's a friend's house who better accepts you than your family or something. There's a lot of things that people will go out of their way for as long as you're respectful and, maybe help around the house or something if you're staying at your friend's place, their dad's, your best friend's dad is outside building a porch, go build a porch with them, all right? Offer any kind of help, I always did that kind of shit to help out my friends and everything just to, pay back their kindness, right? So get yourself out of there any way you can or whenever you can, Don't put yourself in a worse position though, obviously, but that's what I did though. I just kind of escaped.
Same.
Yeah.
I moved out at 17.
No, I was out at 18. I was at college, and then I was living in a city outside of where I lived for a bit. I got a job as a web designer after college, and then I was just like, all right, I'm a Twitch streamer now. I'm just gonna go anywhere, and I drove 13 hours in one day to my friend's place, and I was like, hey, you mind if I move in? Obviously there was more planning than that, but I had like everything in my car. I was like gone. I was like, my mom's like, hey, we're gonna come up and visit, and I was like, no, you're not. I didn't tell them or anything. Whoopsie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel that bunches and bunches because like even if I said anything about kissing, like I was adopted by my grandparents. Well, my grandfather is not blood related, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I was adopted, and like if I even brought up kissing, they're like, "No, Tricky, you can't kiss anyone. You have to be pure. Save it for marriage." And then like,
right.
I may not have waited till marriage, and I have a tattoo now, and I like boys and girls, and
You kissed somebody before marriage? Tricky.
How could you?
Oopsie.
Next, you're gonna tell me you were holding hands with somebody.
Oh my.
I may have done that.
Oh.
gonna fucking do it again.
Disgusting. Honestly, real question is, when's it gonna be my hand? All right, come on now.
I've been waiting.
Come on, they're right here. All right, look at these grippers.
My hand's open.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Hands up.
Hold
You're arrested
hands
for being
down.
horny.
Yes.
You're going to horny
Put
jail.
hands
Oh my
in
God.
mine.
Here, I'll hold it underneath this one. There we go. Better. That's better now.
Best day of my life.
Here we go. Let me just move my hand over. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, this is
Perfect,
the greatest feeling.
I can't slide
Oh my
that
gosh.
far.
Oh no.
I just go. I hold
This is as
everybody's
far as I can
hand.
go.
I hold
It's okay, my hand is out for you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to say I've had an absolutely wonderful time having y'all on as guests.
Yeah, thank you.
Coco, thank you for coming back for the second
Yeah,
time.
of
Yeah,
course.
Tricky, Veronica, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
I hope y'all had a good time. I hope y'all enjoyed
So wonderful.
answering chat's questions.
Thank
was
you
good.
for having me. It was
Mhm.
lovely being
Yeah.
able to talk about stuff like this, and hopefully, I was able to give a little bit of insight from my own experiences, and hopefully it could help someone.
You did great.
I did. Everybody did a wonderful job. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a
I
lot of
do.
fun.
I do this every week that I'm not, traveling to Canada like next week, but I do this every week. So
Like next week.
if y'all, I'd always tell everyone, if you had a good time and you want to come back, come back. Whether that's those in the audience or y'all here, if you want to come back and answer some more questions, I'm always happy to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever
Uh,
need someone,
It's
I'll
been
be
a
around.
forever.
Yeah.
I would love to do it
Well,
again.
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna read some names real quick because they've been going crazy.
Right.
Another $100 from Konzon. So thank you.
Hey.
TC Towel, $20. Thank you. Penrise Prime, $5. Thank you. Anonymous dropping $30. Thank you.
Let's go.
Nitty Gritty City dropping $25. Thank you. CDI Gannon, $15. Thank you. And Spacey Ghost Cat giving us $20. Thank you. That takes us to where are we? $14,069.
Yo, nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Some nices in the chat.
Wow.
Can we get some nice?
Nice. Yeah, some nice, some
Nice.
yippies.
Nice.
Yeah. We love that. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, thank you all for being here. It was a blast. It was so wonderful, and I hope that we get to do something again soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Tricky. Also, can we, now that I can put Tricky on the spot for being here, not hiding in my chat. Tricky came in and dropped $2,000 earlier.
Oh shit.
So,
Hey now.
yeah, if y'all didn't see, or if y'all didn't get to say thank you to Tricky chat, say thank you to Tricky.
That's some big thanks there. God damn.
Yeah, that's wild. That is, so generous of you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course,
Absolutely.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna pop on out of here, chat. I'm gonna go. Let me tell you what's going on next. We're gonna be playing some Fall Guys, so I'm gonna be going to my Be Right Back screen so I can get set up for that. It'll be the last collab of the night, but it'll be a big one. We got up to 40 people in that one, and I'm pretty sure we're maxed out. So you'll see a bunch of Vtubers trying to fight for crowns and Fall Guys. And then we'll be doing that for a couple hours, and then after that, I'll hang out with y'all and we'll chat a bit to wind down the night and see where we end up on the charity counter. But yeah. All right. Thank you all again. Please make sure you go check out these wonderful people that we had on right there. There's the 3 links: Coconuts, Tricky, and Veronica. Please give them some love. Please go follow all 3 of them. Yeah. And if you came by and you had fun here, like I said, I do this every week. You can join my Discord right over here so that you can hang out with us when we're not streaming, when we're offline. And you can also get notifications when I go live. But yeah, I love y'all. Okay, I will see you in just a few minutes, chat. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, chat. Bye.
Bye.